everyone and welcome back to my channel. I wanted my first official video of the year to be something really inspirational and motivational for you guys. I've wanted to film this video for actually a very long time, and January just feels like the perfect time to do it. Not that there's ever a bad time to turn your life around or try and make changes. Any time is really the perfect time to do that, but the new year does just feel like a fresh start and the perfect time to break old habits, make new ones, and really set your goals for the rest of the year. So my video today is all about the power of manifestation and how you can make your dreams come true. And I know this is probably something that you've heard a lot about already, but it can be quite an overwhelming thing to get your head around. So today I thought I'd just break it down and give you my best tips and also some of the examples of how I've harnessed this in my own life. I'm also really aware that I'm basically making a YouTube video about a belief system and I'm dressed like I'm in a cult. So please try and look past that because I really can't be bothered to get changed at this point. If you are new here to my channel today, hello, my name is Freddy. I've been making videos on here for 5 years and this year is going to be the best year yet. So do make sure you are subscribed to my channel and have notifications turned on so you always know that I've posted, and of course come and follow me on Instagram to keep up with my day-to-day life. So first of all, I thought I'd just give a brief summary of what the power of manifestation and the law of attraction is, in case you've never heard of it before. So the law of attraction is the idea that you have the power in your mind to totally control your life and everything that comes into it. And the way you do this is by tuning yourself into the universe. And there are some actually really interesting scientific theories to do with physics and how nothing actually exists until we realize and acknowledge it, but that's a whole other subject that I'm not going to go into because I don't even fully understand it myself, but it's very interesting. But the main point is that nothing is out of reach or off limits to you, and you do have the power to manifest anything you want in your life, whether it's success, love, relationships, money. You essentially can have a lot more control over that than you currently think you do. And you may ask, well, if it's just as simple as changing your mindset and your habits, why isn't everyone a millionaire? Why isn't everyone successful, living in their dream house with their dream car? And the answer is, it's actually very, very difficult to perfect. Even me, I've been believing in this for 5 years and I'm still not as good at it as I could be, I think. And honestly, a lot of this is probably going to sound bonkers to a lot of you and you're going to think that I've actually lost my mind, but the truth is I'm actually a very skeptical, cynical person. But I also do really like to keep an open mind about this stuff, because when you think about science, the universe, the solar system, the human mind, dreaming, history, there's so much that we don't know. And even if one day it all turns out to be proven false, the worst that will have happened to you is you will have led life a lot more happy, a lot more positive, as a glass half full person, and really no harm can come of it at all, which is why I choose to live my life believing in this secret. So before I talk about more specific goals and how to achieve them, I'll talk first of all about how more generally to incorporate the law of attraction into your life to attract more positivity. So the idea is that the law of attraction is just as sure and certain as any other scientific law or law of nature. Like gravity, what goes up must come down. The law of attraction is you will receive whatever it is you are giving out. So in other words, positivity attracts positivity, negativity attracts negativity. It's kind of human nature to find it a lot easier to succumb to those negative emotions like anger and anxiety and stress and sadness and worry, rather than those really happy emotions like being excited and being optimistic. Those positive emotions can often feel like they take up a lot of energy, but in actual fact it's the negative emotions that drain us a lot more. Now I could honestly talk all day about the power of positivity in your day-to-day life, but there really are far better resources and reading material and watching material than me, which brings me on to my first tip on how to manifest your life and make your dreams come true. So my first tip is to really read up on the law of attraction, because it's actually going to take a lot more than you think to completely retrain your mind on how to think. It's definitely a cliche, but this book is called The Secret and it's very, very famous. If you haven't heard of it, where have you been? There are actually many books out there that talk about this, but this is definitely the most famous sort of commercialized one, and it's really, really good. It's quite over the top and it can be quite overwhelming. You kind of feel like you're reading like a cult's manifesto, but it is actually amazing and it will make you realize things that you had never ever thought of before, thinking patterns that you've probably had your whole life that you never even really stopped to consider. There are so many quotes and examples of massive historical figures who believed in this, people like Beethoven and Einstein. It is truly fascinating. It will make you totally reevaluate yourself and most of all how you think and how you perceive the world, how you react to situations. And I do understand how that can be quite overwhelming sometimes, but it really is just so worth it, because what you may not realize is that your known way of thinking is actually the very thing that is stalling you and holding you back from reaching your full potential. Like I said, worst case scenario, say none of your dreams come true, you'll actually start to realize how those negative emotions and thoughts are honestly like a virus inside your mind and your body. And this mindset just helped me be such a happier, more confident, optimistic person, which can never be a bad thing. So my second biggest tip for manifesting your dreams is probably something you've heard a lot about, and that is visualization. One of the main points about manifestation and the law of attraction is it's not enough just to want something. You have to believe that you already have it. You have to embody it. It's not enough for it to feel like this distant dream that belongs to somebody else that you wish you could have. It needs to feel real and like it belongs to you. And a really good way of doing this is to take it out of just your mind and put it onto paper or onto a vision board. Make it real, make it exist in front of you. So this is why I've always told you guys when I've talked about motivation and goals to buy a planner, a physical planner, not just like the notes on your phone, to actually physically write down your goals and the things you want, makes them real and also holds you a little bit more accountable. So this is my planner for 2021. It's from the Inspired Stories. It's absolutely beautiful. And I feel like if you are deciding to begin this journey, I think one really good thing you can start off with is buying yourself a beautiful planner or journal like this that really inspires you to write in it. Because often stuff like this, like journaling and making lists and writing things down, can feel like a chore, but if you have like a beautiful notebook, maybe even a beautiful pen, it can really inspire you and become something that you enjoy doing. And I really love this planner. It's full of motivational quotes. I love an inspirational quote. I have them on my phone. I have some in prints around my room. When I first started practicing the law of attraction, I actually got postcards made with some of my favorite motivational sayings. Some I just made up myself. And I think that was a really good way to start, because that was another example of me visualizing something and making it real. This planner also goes into a lot of detail, which I love, because that's another thing that's important when you are manifesting, is to be very specific and not too general about your wants and your goals. So for example, instead of sort of wistfully thinking, oh, my car is so old, I hate it, I wish I could get a new car, that's a very negative way of thinking. Go car window shopping or virtual car window shopping. Decide on the exact car that you want, that you love, the color, the dealership that you're going to pick it up from. Put a little star in your calendar. That's the day that you're going to go and pick it up. And constantly visualize yourself driving it. Imagine the Instagram pictures you're going to take in your new car. You have to totally commit to believing that you are already the owner of that car. And the law of attraction says that that will put you in the prime position to receive and attract that car into your life. So now let's move on to vision boards. There are so many ways you can do a vision board, and there's really no right or wrong. Obviously, the more traditional way of doing it would be to have a piece of cardboard or a cork board and tear out pages from a magazine and like stick them and collage them all together. That can definitely be something really fun to do, especially in lockdown 3.0, where we have not that much to do again. I personally prefer to do things on my laptop because I feel like you just have so much more freedom. You can do so much more with like background colors and sketches and illustrations and text, and you can pretty much use any image on the whole internet as long as you're not going to sell it. If you just want something low maintenance and you just want to sort of collect images that inspire you and have them all in one place, then Pinterest is obviously a great tool. I've been using Pinterest literally my whole life. It's the best. But I'm going to show you my vision board that I've made for this year, and it's currently my desktop screensaver on my laptop, which I think is a really good thing to do. Maybe you could get it printed and have it on the wall. I personally just really need less clutter in my bedroom. So I haven't done that. I've just had it on my laptop, which I still think is really good because especially if you are working on your laptop a lot in the day like me, it's something that you're going to see constantly every single day. So here's mine. I really love it. I made it on a website called Canva. There are actually lots of different like collaging and graphic design websites that you can use for free, and everything on mine represents something that I am aspiring to this year. So I'm not going to go into all of it and what it all means because obviously it's personal, it's private. But for example, the picture of me in Paris is the photo that I've used that I feel really represents me at one of my happiest times, my most fulfilled times. I was in Paris, it was my birthday, I just hit 1 million subscribers, I was in love, I'm wearing a beautiful outfit, I was very successful, and that's just a reminder to me that that's where I always want to be. Like, that's the girl that I always want to be. The picture of the interior obviously represents the fact that I'm aiming to buy my own home this year. And then the little picture of the girl with the Chanel bag I found on Pinterest, and that kind of represents the fact that I'd really like a Chanel bag, but it also represents how I imagine I would dress as a girl boss, CEO, that kind of thing. And then I just added a few more really beautiful little sketchy illustrations, a couple of flowers to represent me kind of growing and blooming, and also the dove to represent me spreading my wings this year. And then the little fashion illustration to represent something else, maybe. I don't know. So my vision board is obviously very aesthetic, but it's also very general. It's just a kind of outlook on how I want my life to look this year. But another piece of advice I would give you guys is if there's something that you want very specifically, like I mentioned, the car, or if it's a handbag or a trip, you need to pinpoint these and visualize them very specifically. And I'm going to tell a story now that some of my older followers will already have heard, and it's how I manifested my dream designer bag. So rewind to 2016, I am 21 or 22, and all I want in life is the pink Chloe Drew bag. I just loved it so much. I'd seen it on a few bloggers in different colors, and I just thought it was so pretty, like the prettiest thing I'd ever seen, so me. But it's over £1,000, and I was not earning the kind of money where that was a disposable income. So I was a bit like, well, I'm never gonna buy it. But at the same time, I had this belief that like, well, one day I will have that bag. Like, obviously one day I'll have it. And I kind of accidentally manifested it, and it totally like cemented my belief in everything. And ever since then, I've totally practiced it on purpose. So I honestly just liked looking at the bag because I thought it was so pretty. So I went to Safari on my phone, onto Google. I typed in Chloe Drew cement pink, Google Images, and I just kind of picked the image where it looked the nicest, and it happened to be on a retailer called My Teresa, which was really random. I'd never shopped there before. I was really unfamiliar with it. I don't think I'd ever even heard of it compared to, you know, I could have got it up on Selfridge's website or Harrods, and I just ended up looking at it every day, and I would just picture the outfits that I could wear with it, and I would picture like all the cute Instagram pictures I'd have with the bag, and this went on for a few months probably. And then one day I got an email in my inbox from My Teresa. Bearing in mind, I'd only had my social media platforms for 2 years. I was very low-key with brands, and I definitely was not on the radar of any other like luxury high-end brands at all. And I was also at the stage in my social media career where brands were not getting in touch with me out of the blue a lot. It was very often through my agent reaching out to brands saying, this is Freddy, would you like to work with her? So now it would be normal for me to get an email like that from a brand, but at the time it was not really that normal. And the email said, we have a new edit for resort and holiday wear. We'd like you to pick a piece from the collection and post an Instagram photo in the piece, and in return we'll gift you the piece and also give you £1,000 gift card to spend on whatever you want. So I picked the piece. It was a beautiful blue satin Zimmermann playsuit that I still have now, also set me off on my love for Zimmermann. And with the gift card I of course bought, I still have the original box, my beloved Chloe bag. And the hilarious thing is the email actually came through in January, but because it was holiday wear, she didn't want me to post the photo until July, and she said that she would give me the gift card then. And I was quite cheeky and I said, look, could I get the gift card in advance because I'd really like this bag and I can post about it. So she said yes, and I got this in January. Then in July, when I did post the photo, she had forgotten that she'd given me the £1,000 gift card, and she gave it to me again. And I was in such a conundrum. I was like, oh my God, it was like being Jean Valjean. Do I tell the truth or do I just keep it and keep quiet? In the end, I of course told the truth because I'm such a goody two-shoes, and she was so grateful that she actually let me have half of the gift card. So I bought some beautiful grey suede Chloe boots that my boyfriend proceeded to spill Fanta all over, but hey. Now I'm totally aware what people are going to say, like, Freddie, you're an influencer, any normal person would not get that email, and that is completely true. I was halfway there, but let me tell you, that was so out of the blue for a brand like that to contact me and to give me that kind of offer. It was not something that was normal at all. I've also had people say that they were probably tracking me on the website every day, but if you think about how ridiculous that sounds, how many like millions of people will be on those websites and they could never have known it was me, and they didn't even offer me the bag, they never even mentioned it. So that was my first real experience of visualization working out for me, but since then there have been so many occasions where I have visualized and manifested so many things. So step 3 is to buy into the dream, and that is probably a phrase you've heard, but I am taking it very literally. As I mentioned before, one of the most important but also most difficult ways of manifesting is to fully and wholeheartedly believe that you already have what it is you want. So the concept is, if you want to be rich, for example, you have to act as if you're rich. Now this is something that I get quite nervous about advising people to do, because I don't want to tell you to go around splashing the cash as if you have unlimited expendable income when you don't, because obviously that's pretty dangerous. That is what The Secret would tell you to do, but that does make me quite nervous. But then again, that is an element of self-doubt, which supposedly holds back the law of attraction from working. So it's a bit of a conundrum, as you can see, but I'm not going to talk about that because I do not want to be responsible for putting my followers into debt. Can you imagine? Freddie told me if I want to be rich, I have to spend all my money. That would go down well. But let's talk about smaller, more specific things that I absolutely believe work for manifesting your life. So I'm going to quickly tell you Josie's manifestation story because I just think it's one of the best examples. So this was a couple of years ago now, but Josie was really aiming to hit 250,000 subscribers to her YouTube channel, and she was really trying to put all of this into practice. So she decided on the date that she would hit that milestone. Not only did she decide on the date, which I think was Valentine's Day, it was definitely in February, I remember. She bought herself a Monica Vinader bracelet and had the date engraved on it with 250,000. And she bought that for herself as a congratulations present on the day that it happened. And guys, it did. And I also told you guys this story in my video last week, but in case you didn't see it, when Josie and I were in Mjev at the start of 2019, we were talking about it and about how I was getting close-ish to 1 million subscribers. And Josie was like, you have to choose a date. You have to choose a date when you're going to reach it. What about June or May or June? And I was like, I don't think I'm going to reach it by then. And she goes, I think you will, I think you will. And I said, okay, how about my birthday, the 16th of September? It's a really special day for me anyway. And then it gives me a little bit more time. And by some magic, or maybe it's not magic at all, I hit 1 million subscribers on the 15th of September. So the day before my birthday. Honestly, subscriber growth is so unpredictable. I could have hit it way after that, or even potentially way before. So my advice is, without breaking the bank or taking too much of a risk, actually physically buy in to your dream. So if your goal is you want to go down a dress size or 2, buy the dress that you are going to wear when you hit your target weight and size, and hang it up at the front of your wardrobe or on your door and look at it every single day and know that very shortly you'll be wearing it. When you're visualizing your dream career, is there a pair of shoes or a handbag or even a notebook or pen you can imagine yourself using? Buy it. If you're dreaming of buying or moving into a new home, buy a piece of decor or furniture that you're going to put in it. Doing small things like that will totally up your manifestation game. Now, tip number 4 is what The Secret describes as tuning in to the universe. They say that to be in a position to receive, you have to be on the right frequency. And a lot of it ties in with the stuff that I was talking about in the beginning of this video about positive feelings, getting rid of the negative emotions. And it's described as keeping your vibrations high, which I know sounds really weird, but honestly, have you ever just gone to cuddle your pet, and when I kiss Nelly, I just kiss her little paws and her little nose and her fluffy belly, and I just feel so wholly and purely happy in that moment, and that is the frequency and the vibration that you need to be on. So try to, in your day-to-day life, do things like that that just make you feel purely good, not artificially good, purely good, like cuddling your pet or singing in the shower. Have you noticed that you never sing in the shower when you're in a bad mood? It's something that you do when you're happy and it enforces that feeling. Also exercise, I know it is hard to believe, but exercise does release endorphins, which is like a natural high. And also try and minimize the time you spend doing things that don't make you feel good. Obviously we all have to do things in life that don't make us happy and maybe make us stressed and angry, but for example, have you ever like gone through a scroll on social media and you've just come off feeling a bit depressed and drained? And seriously, if you are spending a lot of time on social media, you need to unfollow the people that don't make you feel good about yourself. You need to be following accounts that make you feel inspired. And honestly, if I'm not making you feel good about yourself, then unfollow me. Actually, if you don't mind, don't unfollow me, just mute me. So the first thing is keeping that vibration high, tuning into that happy, positive frequency and doing your absolute best to absolutely rid yourself of those negative emotions as much as you can. The second thing is practicing gratitude and doing this every day. I think this is something else that can be really difficult. First of all, it's easy to forget to do it, and sometimes when you're not in the right mood, it can be hard to be thankful for the things that you have. Some people suggest that in the evening before you go to bed, actually physically writing down the things that you are grateful for that day, and they can be really small things, like I got a seat on the tube in the morning, I found a £1 coin on the floor, I got an extra hair wash out of my shampoo that I thought was finished. Think of it as the universe sending you little small signs, little testers, and if you're not grateful for them, you're essentially rejecting them, so you're not going to get any more. So when things like that do happen, acknowledge them, be happy, be excited. And also in the grander scheme, I think it's really easy to forget and take for granted the things that we really should be grateful for. So I try, like most nights that I can remember, just to have like a mental thanks for the fact that I have a lovely family that support me and they're all healthy. I think about how I'm thankful for my relationship, my career, and all the opportunities, the fact that I live in a lovely house, all of those things that are really easy to take for granted. It's also really important to think about what you do have rather than what you don't have, because when you're thinking about what you don't have and what you feel like you're lacking, you're bringing your frequency and your vibrations down. I know it sounds weird. And the third thing in this section I've briefly touched on already, but it's about acting as if you already have what you want and acting and behaving as the person that you aspire to be. That's why I really love those quotes like, what would Audrey do, or what would Blair Waldorf do? I think it's a really good mindset to have, and I've said this in so many of my fashion pep talks, but I've told you guys to dress as if you're the person that you want to be. Like, don't dress for you now, dress for the future you, the aspiration version of you. And you have to try and learn to just let go and flush out those feelings of self-doubt, because those feelings are the boulders and the blockades that are in the way of you receiving what you want. I've also applied this mentality to lots of my fashion pep talks. I've told you guys lots when it comes to confidence, that if you like kind of walk looking all sort of insecure and a bit nervous and a bit like you have low self-esteem, that's the impression that everyone is going to take from that, and then that's who you are, because that's how everyone else and yourself is perceiving you. Whereas even if you are feeling a little bit insecure, if you keep your head held high, your shoulders back, and you just stride down the street without a care in the world, everyone around you will think how confident you are, and then it becomes real. There's a reason why sayings like fake it till you make it exist. It's the exact same concept with the universe. You have to believe it fully in order for the universe to give it to you, and if you doubt it, then the frequency is not right and it's not going to come. I literally sound insane. My fifth and final tip is arguably the most important, and that is all about working towards your goals. You cannot just sit back and relax and be really positive and make vision boards and lists and say your thanks every night and just expect everything to fall into your lap. You have to think of it as a collaboration with the universe. You also have to do your bit. And this is why, like I said, it's not easy, because if working hard wasn't enough and you're also having to remember to totally think a different way and be really happy and positive even when maybe everything is trying to tell you not to, it's really hard work, and that's why a lot of people cannot harness this properly, or some people give it a go and then kind of give up because it's too difficult. So going back to the Chloe bag example, if I was not trying you know, really hard with beautiful Instagram pictures and working hard on my channel and my blog at the time, that wouldn't have happened. Manifesting and working hard really do go hand in hand. When it comes to losing weight, for example, it of course would not be enough to sit there scoffing your chocolate and pudding like I have been for the past 4 weeks and not exercising and just thinking, I'm perfect, I have the perfect body, I am gorgeous, I'm exactly the size that I want to be. You have to also put in the work for that to happen, but it's why I also actually really strongly believe that a lot of people really struggle to lose weight, because even when they do put in the work, sometimes the wrong mindset I think can really hold people back. There are some people that go around saying, I can eat anything I want and I never put on weight. And there are some people that say, oh my God, I'm putting on weight just looking at that cupcake. People in general are so self-critical and so hard on themselves and down on themselves. I honestly think that's more the norm than people that talk themselves up and give themselves affirmations. There are of course some people in life who are just extremely lucky and have wonderful things just fall into their lap, but they are very few and far between, and for the most part the successful people that you see will have worked really hard to get there. But I would bet my last penny that most of them have used some of the techniques that I've talked about in this video. Before I finish the video, I thought I'd give my personal story and experience with how I started this and how I sort of changed my life around using this mindset. Between the ages of 17 to 20, I was really not happy. I had left school, I'd left college because I really hated it and I just knew that I wanted to work. I knew, I had like a deep knowledge that I would never have a normal job. I was never going to have like a normal life. And for 3 years I worked part-time at Hollister. I would work there in the mornings, and then in the afternoons I would go to modelling castings and occasionally book a job. I absolutely hated it. I really did. I was so miserable, and for 3 years it just felt like I was doing the same old thing and I was just getting nowhere with it. I quite liked Hollister at the beginning because I had loads of friends, but I really grew to hate it. I used to hate going there in the morning. I would wake up, even before I'd wake up, I'd go to sleep the night before feeling crappy about having to get up really early and go to somewhere I didn't like. So I'd wake up feeling miserable, I'd go and I'd stand in the shop for 4 or 5 hours feeling rotten, and then I'd go and get changed, knowing that the afternoon wasn't much better because I absolutely hated going to modelling castings. And even when I got the jobs, I didn't even like doing that either, and I just felt really miserable. And just after I turned 20 in September, I was like, oh my God, I'm in my 20s now, I just can't keep doing this, this is horrible, I need to try and just do something different, or at least do something to take my mind off of this and stop feeling so miserable. And so I started my YouTube channel. Well, actually I didn't upload my video until December. It took me 3 months to like psych myself up, and in the meantime I was doing stuff like making Pinterest boards. I was watching loads of YouTube videos to get really inspired. I did the thing that I told you about with the postcards with all of the affirmations and like inspirational quotes. I did the whole planner thing and got really excited about that, and for the first time I felt positive and I felt excited about something. And when I did my videos, it was like something fun I could do. It was a respite, it was exciting, and I feel like my frequency just totally changed. And look what happened. Within 4 months I had over 100,000 subscribers, and I had the top talent agency for YouTube wanting to sign me. I'd been doing what I was doing before for 3 years, and I did this in 4 months. And I totally believe that because my mindset and my attitude was completely different, it was so positive, it was so open. And I wasn't sure whether to mention this bit or not because I really don't want to give bad advice, but it is what happened. In around February, so 2 months after I posted my first video, I actually quit working at Hollister. And I was like, oh my God. Hollister was like my day-to-day money, and then all the money that I got from modelling jobs I used to save every penny. So for a couple of months I wasn't getting any like day-to-day income, and I was kind of going into my savings, which went against everything I'd been taught and everything that I ever believed in myself when it came to money. But I took the chance on myself, and I suppose you could say I acted as if I was already earning money from YouTube. I quit my job before I was earning money. Just before I got signed, I broke up with my boyfriend, who was the one that was making my videos for me. He had the camera, he had the MacBook, I didn't have anything, and I actually bought everything. So again, I bought into the dream, even though financially maybe it wasn't the best decision. it obviously ended up paying off. So I truly believe that some of this really helped change and turn my life around, and since then I have tried to practice it, and I've become that person who pretty much gets the things they want in life. And it sounds so conceited, but I swear to you, that never used to be me. So it's not like I've always been this way. It's only been since I started like living with this mindset and practicing these techniques, and I really feel like you guys can do it too. So I am gonna leave it there, guys, because I feel like I've been talking forever, but I really hope you found this video inspirational. I really would recommend buying The Secret or another book. It'll be the best £7.99 you've ever spent in your life, and obviously there's so much more in those books than I've been able to talk about today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck with manifesting your dreams this year, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!